Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's Tim Roberto here with Recovery Podcast, Recovery Centered Podcast. I am your host, and I'm very grateful to Beachway for help sponsoring this, and it helps us to bring awareness to the community. And I'm very fortunate over the years. I've met so many wonderful people, and Joshua McNair and I met a little while ago, and it's just the power of social media.
Yes.
And I just want to say thank you for coming out
you.
today. Thank you to for coming to the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And tell us a little bit about Joshua McNair, the world famous or soon to be famous Joshua McNair.
What is up, guys? My name is Josh McNair. I'm super honored and blessed to be here. Just a little bit about myself. My name is Josh McNair. I'm 21 years old. I'm a firefighter as well as a entrepreneur. And I have a business called Hardmode Fitness, typically where I help tactical athletes become the best version of themselves. And overall, just people in their health and fitness. And man, it's so crazy how me and Mr. Roberto met, just happily scrolling on Facebook, and he ended up requesting to follow me, ended up following him back, and we started a grand conversation from there. And I think from that day, we just took off, and we had a connection and a bond and a brotherhood that I feel like is going to last a lifetime. So I'm super blessed and humbled to be here. I truly believe that God allows you to meet certain people at a certain time, and everything's within his season. So I'm excited to be on this podcast, and I can't wait, to just talk about so much amazing things with you. So I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, thanks for giving me that segue, too.
Yes, sir.
Unrehearsed, because I always tell the audience and the people that every one I do, I'm trying to reach that one person.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So these relationships that I build before they come to the podcast are very important.
Yes.
And whether you believe that or not, that part I'm not responsible for. But, what we do here today is super important.
Yes.
I've had people reach out, and I've actually had people come up to me at Beachway saying, "Oh, my God, you're Tim." I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, "I've seen that podcast and the guest that you had."
Yeah.
Started making me look and pursue what I knew I needed to do, and that was to ask for help and get help. So I'm really grateful you're here.
Thank you, sir.
And you have that good soul, that good energy, and that true authenticity
Thank you.
to make a difference. I mean, you're a firefighter.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been thinking about that?
So firefighting has been, it's funny because I was in high school when I first realized I want to be a first responder, but I always had a love for track and field. That was my sport. That was I loved it. I've always been fast, and it's just always been something that I wanted to do. And I don't have a crazy life story of big failures or anything like that. But simply, I was just a kid that really just wanted to make a difference in the world. And when I heard about the fire program, I joined Palm Beach County Cadet Program. It was pretty much a program where they teach you how to be a firefighter for the next generation. And ever since then, man, I fell in love with the job. I met a lot of amazing people, built a lot of great relationships with people. God has truly put me in a really good position at a young age. And I say that to say, not as a bragging standpoint, but as a standpoint of, if you just keep your head down and you just work and you stay true to what you believe, this world, there's so many people that want to be like everyone else, and really just taking the pathway to be yourself, can really take you in places that you can't imagine, And when I heard about the fire program and the just what it took to be a firefighter, I loved it, and I've always had a love for fitness too. So being able to incorporate that in, the everyday job is truly, truly a blessing. So really just, I love the fact to be a servant. I love the fact to be able to impact people in their health and fitness, and then also just to be able to be that helping hand for people on their worst day. I think it's truly, my calling.
I think it's wonderful. I mean, it takes a certain person to, fire rescue, firefighters, police, first responders. They're called when the time is the worst. So they show up and they're always seeing people at their worst. And that takes a certain person. It takes a certain wiring, you're built that way, not everybody can do it. And I'm really happy that the fire service and first responders, Leos, slowly,
yes, sir.
they're starting to implement more awareness on mental health and the signs and what to look for. And you mentioned Palm Beach County, a really dear friend of mine, Chief, he was a guest here.
Yes, sir.
and he, enlightened me. I had no idea, and so many people don't. That's
Yeah.
why I love doing what
Yeah.
I do. I can't believe I have a platform to do this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And it's so nice because like and the beautiful thing about this is, and the beautiful thing about podcasts in general is that it is time where people can really sit down and listen. They can really understand like whatever it is that you speak on, but they really have the time to be able to listen and understand. And I think that having this, what you have going on, is so huge because it can touch so many people. And you might think about it and you might look at the views and you might look at the subscribers sometimes, and it might be low, some might be high, but you do realize that you're touching, every single time you do a podcast, you're touching someone new,
100%.
And that is the beautiful thing about being able to have that online presence, is that you made that possible. You're making that impact and you're making that difference in people's lives. And no matter how cliche that sounds, but you're a difference maker.
It's reality.
And we need people that are willing to make a difference. That's not to say that life is not going to throw things at you where you mess up or you run into obstacles or you have closed doors that happen or you fail at things in life.
Yep.
But overall, your mindset is that you want to make a difference. And I promise you, all the people that have tuned in with your podcast have learned something from each podcast.
Yeah.
And your presence and your demeanor is so welcoming. And I think that is one reason why we've connected so well, is because of how open you are.
Two old souls.
Yes. And it's we're like able to connect and speak about so many different things. And I believe that is what makes true friendships, true brotherhoods. Like I look up to you now as a mentor, because you've been through life, and now I want to learn all the things that you've went through in life, and I want to learn how to apply those to my life. So I believe that Beachway and what you guys have going on with the mental health is so important, and I think what you guys have going on is amazing. And don't let that stop.
But here's the gift. Here's for me, God's grace, right? Like if I succeed, you succeed. But if you succeed, I succeed.
Yes.
And you show me. I mean, it has nothing to do with age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
the human anatomy. It's the human condition, the human wiring.
Yeah.
You show me the power of a positive attitude.
Yes, sir.
And we need more of that because. You put on the news, it's like, oh my God, get me off of this. It's like, it's too much.
Yeah, and we're in a world right now where everyone's okay with doing wrong. We look on the news, just like you said, and you turn on the news and you see people doing things that you wouldn't even fathom. But
blows
it's the
me
way.
away sometimes, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I think that, one good person isn't going to change the world in a day. It takes a village of people to be able to change the world, right?
Correct.
And I believe that's why it's so great to be able to do these collabs, these talks,
Yep.
lunch, whatever it is that you can get yourself out there to inspire the world to be better, And I'm young. I have no crazy life experience, but that's why I was always taught, as a child, is learn from older people and be surrounded by older people, because if you really want to be able to help and make a difference, you can listen and you can learn. Just listening in itself can take you to places that you can't even imagine.
Yeah, life can teach you things a professor just can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's either you got the heart or you don't.
Yeah.
I for me, that's just how I see it. Some things are black and white, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think, I don't know. That might be another debate, but
Yeah.
I've never had a professor teach me heart. I was, for people like me, I'm in my 18th year of continuous sobriety, and what a gift that is.
Yeah.
And I've learned so much in that sobriety from people like you, regardless of age,
Yes,
who
sir.
had a positive attitude.
Yes, sir.
Because I think we all want to be free, and we all want to be succeeding at something, or at the bare minimum, feel connected.
Amen.
And
agree.
when we get separated and isolated, that's when a lot of stuff happens. Like the Palm Beach County has the highest suicide rate, and of any other county for first responders, than any other county in Florida, and there's 67 of them. If you look at the statistics now, more first responders die by suicide than they do in the line of duty.
Yeah.
We got to do something, Am I is Joshua and I in the business of outcomes? No. But we are responsible for the message and showing up, right?
And planting that seed, like it's one of those things too, and I'm new also to being a first responder as well. But one thing that, is always taught is being there for one another. That teaches you not just about being there for people on shift, but also teaches you being there for your family, friends, relationships, whatever it is in life that you have people that you are around every single day. This job teaches you the importance of valuing life, valuing each other, you know, being able to love on one another, you know. And I always say this, you know, a first responder's humor is not like anyone else's humor. Because the things that, and even military, you know, you were in the military,
Marine
so
Corps,
like you are American, sorry.
No,
But
you good.
understanding like how we correlate with one another, we don't have that bond that we have with everyone else, because it's just, we see so many things on a day-to-day basis, and it's those things where we have to have something that we can come back to and be like, okay, I'm gonna fool around with this guy for the day, or I'm gonna prank this guy for the day. Typically, you can't go out in the world and do that, you know. Being able to be that person around each other, being there for your brothers and sisters, weddings, funerals, baby showers, whatever it is, but showing up for them no matter what, that is what builds the bond of the brother and sisterhood, you know. And we're falling away from that, you know. Everyone sometimes gets in their little ranking sometimes, and they fall off, you know. They get prideful, they forget where they come from.
Politics sometimes show
huge, you know. And at the end of the day, you have to realize that I'm counting on you, or you're counting on me anytime we're on that truck, anytime we're on that rig, you know. And I think that is important.
It's like the ultimate buddy system, like right?
We live by this rule called 2 in, 2 out, you know, and that applies just in life as well, you know. Life is not one of those things where you're gonna go through by yourself and like, oh, seclude your success. Your village, your circle is what helps you grow, you know. I look at Jesus as a perfect example. Jesus could have came here by himself and did everything by himself, but he had disciples. So he had people that he was constantly around, even though he knew a lot. He knew everything, actually, you know, but he still got the wisdom and knowledge of other people. And that just shows you that you always have to have that servant attitude, that servant mentality.
Even washing feet.
Yes.
You know,
don't be afraid to. That is where you learn.
I mean, I've been dealing it only, you know, in my own life, not so much for the last 18 years, but I deal with it, right? I'm like you, except I'm a different first responder, right? Mental health and drug addiction and that ego, it's so detrimental to so many people,
because it's one of those things where ego is one of those things where people typically they're so set in their ways, no matter if it's good ways or bad ways. We all have our ways that we're set in, right? And then when you have someone come into your world and they try to change that, or they try to either help you or whether they try to hurt you, you know, you're kind of like learning how to try to adjust to that, you know. But also being able to be that person that's open to corrective criticism, being open for people to be like, hey, you messed up today, and being okay with that, and realizing that they're there to help you. Now, you have some people in your life that will come in that will be like, oh, you're doing this wrong, and they're just there to judge you.
The critical people.
But you'll know. The Bible says you'll know them by their fruits, right? So you'll know people by their fruits and their actions. And when you can humbly sit back and be like, you know what, I messed up. And I have someone here that is willing to help me and take me under their wing and teach me and mold me and scold me when I mess up. But that is what the world needs more of, is people who are willing to, right? And having that is so important. That plays a huge part in the first responder world, is accountability, you know? And just life in general. Accountability is one of those things where if you don't have it, you can fall off the wagon so quick, you know? And your wagon, who you have on your wagon, determines how far you'll make it. You know,
and how quick you'll be picked up.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Depending on who you're around, you might be falling off for a pretty long time. You know. And do you think everything boils down to fear?
I do, and I think it's okay to have fear. I think it's
to a certain extent. Right?
I think it's okay to have fear, because in life, when you're afraid of something, it always keeps you on your toes.
Why do you think it's so hard for a man?
To be honest, I'm gonna say this here.
To ask. I was gonna say ask for help. I don't know if that's what you were picking up on, but.
I was going to say, pretty much, I want to say it has to probably do with the testosterone. I don't know why, but it's just one of those things where with a man, you know, we're always cultured to be tough. You know, we're always cultured to be,
Do you think that's
you know?
society, or do you think that's inert, or we're programmed into us genetically? Humanity, male, female. Do you think it's just wired into us differently to be male?
I want to say it's a mix of both worlds, because sometimes, like when you grow up, like for me, my dad has always taught me to get out and work, and get your hands dirty. Then you have some people that aren't raised like that. Then you have some people that they see TV shows, they see people that they want to be like, and they see their tough mentality, and they want to be like, I want to be just like that guy, and so they pattern their life just like that.
But in actuality, they're not really like that.
Yes.
So their life becomes unmanageable or dysfunctional, or they get angry or whatever, right?
Because they see something that they're trying to go after, but they might not always be able to get to that thing, And I think as a man, being afraid is not a bad thing. Being scared is not a bad thing. I think society makes it one of those things where you're not tough, or you're like, excuse my French,
but instinct.
Yeah, and
right, fear is instinct.
It is
instinctual.
Yeah, and I think like being around also it falls right back to, and this is just my opinion, but I think it falls back to being around your circle, right? If you understand that you have people around you, like if you're afraid of something and there's something that's bothering you or something that's scaring you, that shouldn't be the time for everyone else to be like, oh man, you're a little scaredy cat. Like, no, that should be the time where people help you work through it.
Yeah, empower you.
Yes.
Don't criticize you.
And I even think it deals with also childhood too. Because
100%.
Sometimes, we grow up in certain environments where everything is hardcore. Everything's like by the book, strict, discipline, etc. And it forces you to be that person that just has to accept everything and you can't be afraid of anything, And to an extent, is that mentality kind of cool? Yeah. Sometimes I like to be able to have the mentality of, man, like nothing phases me. But I can't have that mentality because life is one of those things where it throws so many different things at you. You might not know how to handle everything that's being thrown at you. Yeah. So sometimes when you're afraid, in my book, I feel like it keeps you on your toes,
In check, balanced.
Yeah.
It
allows you to be able to have a sense of, okay, if I slack here, I'm afraid that this thing might happen, And like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing.
No.
I think it's just one of those things where our society has put it as, for males, it's just you have to be tough. Yeah. And yes, it's important to be tough. It's important to have that male role, but it's also important for men to be able to speak, have emotions, cry.
But this is like, for me, like I said, I used the word pimp before, like the ultimate pimp. For somebody else that doesn't quite get that, maybe it's like that strange mental blank spot. Let's face it, man. First responders are heroes. Like, just think of what society would be without them. Oh my, it'd be like
chaos.
Total chaos times 10. That's a no-brainer. But what always intrigues me, and I'm still doing a lot of work on that with something else. It's called Stomping Out the Stigma. How someone's cell phone, a guy or gal like that, when it comes to them, their cell phone's like 900 pounds. Yeah. It still just fascinates me. Hopefully God will allow me to maybe contribute to that lane, that space. Amen. Before he takes me. I want to learn why that's so hard for somebody to do.
And I think
when it's a game changer.
Man, I think sometimes it's just the fact that people don't know what to say. They're afraid of what people are going to think of them if they say something,
Then how do I teach, before I go, as many people as I can, what people think of you is none of your business?
It's one of those things.
How do I do that?
The way you act, what you put online. I look at it like this, right? So we're going to speak off of a social media standpoint now, right?
Yeah.
Social media is one of those things where people scroll every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, at all hours, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, right? Late at night. Also, the people that need help mentally are also scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it is, whatever platform that provides viewers and things like that, right? And it might be easier to listen to someone speak through something through the phone than it is for someone to get on the phone and be like, hey, I need help. Right? Or at least building them up to have that courage. Because doing something like that, it's almost simply too like doing something to that extent and telling someone your deepest, darkest secrets, your deepest, darkest thoughts. It's hard. Some people, it's natural for them to be like, hey, I'm struggling here.
Correct. Yeah.
But then you have other people who have never went through what they're going through before. And now everything it's like a building that just collapsed on top of them. And now they have to figure out, how am I going to get back to the surface, right? Because right now they're stuck at the bottom and they're now trying to sledgehammer their way to the top, and they don't know how to talk to people about it. And I think what you have, all of this is, what you have going on Facebook, it allows those people to have a starter step into being able to be more courageous, to be able to speak.
Amen.
Because now we have something called comments. Comment box.
Yep.
Hey,
Yep.
I loved what you said, Tim.
Yep.
Thank you so much for what you said.
Yep.
You really impacted me in a great way.
No, you're reading the comments.
I got you, bro. I'm a real supporter, you know? But it's crazy because some of those people that might be commenting on your post might be the people that are going through what they're going through.
Couldn't
right?
agree with you more.
Live. You have Instagram Live, Facebook Live, TikTok Live. That's another way to reach people. You're sitting on the camera like we're live right now, and we're just, talking, and we're talking, but you never know who's behind that camera listening, and they might hop in that little comment box on live.
It's the whole point of it.
Tim, this is really good. Josh, this is really good.
Yep.
That might help them build the courage to. And I like how you always say in some of your posts is reach out.
Yep.
By doing that, that's a call to action, So now you're allowing them to be able to have a freedom they can let their guard down a little bit and be like, you know what? I can text Tim or I can text Josh because now Josh is saying that I can reach out to them physically and I can actually be in their DMs and talk to them.
That's what I love about social media. That's what I love. All the people you're reaching. Like how many followers you got on Instagram now?
So right now I have 4,000. I have 4K in total. Almost climbing to 5K.
But when you do a post, you get some stats on how many people you reach in a month. A couple 100,000 now.
So typically, we have something on Instagram called Insights. So in total, for my whole Instagram, I've reached 93K, which is absolutely crazy.
I mean, as far as that was your
just my whole
your most active post, or
just
in a month's time,
in just 30 days, just 30 days recently, 93K. I have a couple posts on Instagram that have reached a lot of people, and it's actually some posts that I didn't even think about. But the beautiful thing about that is I don't even look at it for the fact of the likes and the views. I love to be able to receive some of the DMs. I love to be able to see some of those DMs or open my request box and have people be like, bro, you've really inspired me to be a better person.
I can vouch.
Really,
dude, I get jacked up watching your stuff. I'm like, this dude's like, this guy's, no, really, man, you're very talented.
Thank you, sir.
You're witty, you're quick, and excellent. Like, this, wait till you go to his Instagram. I'll give him an opportunity at the end to give you his handle.
Thank you, sir. And I appreciate that, and it truly means a lot, but I always say I'm just a vessel trying to do the Lord's work,
Amen.
And
amen.
Even though we look at the fact of wanting to grow our page, grow our success, reach the top, but I always try to get in the mindset, and I'm guilty of it sometimes. I look at the views, I'm like, oh man, I'm doing good today. You know what I'm saying? I want to post more and more and more. But realizing that it's for the people, it's for the people who don't have the courage.
Yeah, but you're human.
Yes, sir.
And your humanness, comes out like it is cool, right? Like, who doesn't like some praise? Like, it's great to a certain extent.
Yes.
But you always bring it back around because I think you're also a very humble man, because you're, humility, not humiliation. Humility is just the ability to remain teachable. You always bring it back around. Like, I'm motivating people. I'm inspiring people. I'm getting comments or maybe messages. Hey, man, thanks. I never looked at that because some of the exercises he's doing, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised. Like, dude, I never realized I could do that. That was awesome.
Yes,
and, because back in the day, I've been in the gym my whole life, until I got until COVID, and then
it kind of just stopped everything.
Dude, gosh darn it, it just interrupted. Amongst somebody else.
And that was my time. I was like,
get my groove back on. Thank God I'm still running.
Yes, sir.
And I still walk a ton of miles.
Yes,
I'm walking 100 miles in December.
Let's go.
For first responders and their mental health. It raises a lot of awareness and a lot of money. I guess I'll say it right now. It's if you don't, I'm not going to get all into it, but just go to the website, SOTS, SOTS Inc.org. And it'll tell you everything you want to know, and you can obviously get in touch with me through there. And just like Joshua, I'll give you my info at the end, how to contact us. But it's just thank God I'm still doing that because I had to get a stress test.
Yeah.
You know, my father was a doctor. You know, I was born in Brooklyn, grew up in New Jersey,
Nice.
and my dad was pretty well known in Manhattan.
Yes, sir.
The guy just loved, like you, like me. He loved what he did, and I think no matter what you do, you'll succeed.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about passion. You know, I always say, you know, even though I look at Hardmode Fitness as a growing brand and a growing business, but I love fitness so much that I could do it for free for the rest of my life. You know, now there's some times in life where things happen where, you know, you move forward and you get opportunities, you know, and I'm an opportunist, you know, I love to be able to reach the opportunities that come, you know, and being able to love what you do on a day-to-day basis every single day you wake up is what drives you to be the best version of yourself, you know?
Yeah, but dude, man, that's like living.
Yeah.
Like, it's truly living. Like, this is a high quality merch.
Sir.
He gave me one. Thank you.
Sir, no problem.
Before we started, and I'm not a hat guy, but this one is very special.
Yes, sir.
And you know, because it's like you said, you know, there's been a special relationship forged quickly, and I'm still absorbing it. Like every time we meet and we talk, and I'm like, okay, God's on the move, and more will be revealed. High quality.
Thank you.
It's really nice, and I love the insignia. It's got the fire.
Yes, sir.
You check it out. But we're very fortunate.
Thank you.
To be doing what we're doing.
Yes, amen. You know, and I believe every single day you wake up, when you have something to push towards and something that drives you, it makes you want to better yourself, better the people around you,
and it's contagious too.
Yes.
You know, like dysfunctional family systems are contagious. Chaos is contagious. Talking, you know what, about others is contagious. Like all this stuff is contagious. And you can't tell me that what we do, we're still serving. And thank God, you know, not everybody's serving in one way or one lane. Thank God for service. You can't tell me that can't have the same effect. It can't just go one way. Life is too amazing, too intriguing, too unexplainable, too way beyond knowledge to just go one way. Like,
and the way that God works in life is so crazy, you know, because like even just the way we met, you know, is crazy, you know. And
that's the power, because you're out doing it, I'm out doing it.
And networking, you know, that's such a huge thing, whether for the mental health, whether it be for fitness, whatever in life it is. Networking with people, meeting people is how you learn about more people. That's how you grow your empire, you know. And to what you guys are doing at Beachway, you guys are networking. You guys, I like to say, you guys have a missionary. You know, you guys have a ministry. Sorry, not missionary. Ministry.
100%.
And you guys are out there impacting people, and you guys are allowing people to come in, right, as their worst selves, and you're allowing them to be able to open up about their deepest, darkest secrets.
Loving them until they can love themselves. It all starts with that encouragement, love. You know, don't work with them with a pointed finger, you know, because they've had been having people point their finger, or they've been pointing at themselves. You know,
just so long.
Yeah, very fortunate, and the the owners are amazing people. You'll meet them one day. Amazing. They still show up every day, and they've been very, you know, they've had a good life. Compared to where they came from, and I'll just leave it at that. I'll let you use your imagination, and that's why it's just all in. Like, everybody's been there for a really long time. The clinicians, the staff, like so many people. It's a very, very unique place, and they understand that. And you know, it is a ministry, you know, because they have the ability now through love, respect, hard work, like you and me. It's allowed them to expand their influence, and the net that they cast out is unbelievable. They help so many. I've been there 7 years. I can read you a text from a guy today.
I love that, man.
And whether you believe me or not out there, I'm not responsible for that. But hey, Tim, how are you doing? I finished all my steps. I'm actually sponsoring blank from Beachway. I'm working at Publix. They're going to move me to the seafood department. I'm a community leader at my sober living. My therapist gave me my own room. I started a meeting on Sundays at my sober living that I run. Things are going really well. Thank you for always believing me and not giving up on me.
And I want to ask you perspective. getting messages like that, right? What, like, just like for the people out there, right? Like, what does that do for you? How does that make you feel?
It made me cry. I'm getting a little
Yeah.
choked
Yeah.
because I remember when this person came in, like broken, like so broken, made some attempts to get rid of that brokenness.
Yeah.
If you know what I, you know, it was bad, like so bad.
And what you guys have there is, because I had the beauty of actually going to Beachway and seeing the facility, touring it, and I'm telling you guys, it's like a little resort.
Yeah.
It's a place where you feel relaxed. It's a place where I guess someone like me, you know,
Yeah.
who came in there and I felt like I was just at home. I felt so happy to be there. You know, the energy that was there, the smiles all across the board, the staff, like everything there is, it makes you want to stay. You know, you don't want to go home, you know, and that is so important for people like that, you know, and those people, because they now know that they have a family. Keyword, and we're getting away from that in this society, is family. Everyone has to be on their own. Everyone has to do things alone. Success is meant to be alone. You know, like getting through your deepest, darkest secrets is alone. No, like, again, I love the keyword village, because it takes a village to be able to grow, right? And when you can surround yourself with winners, you know, I like to use the word dogs, but when you can surround yourself with winners and people who have that mindset every single day to just want to better themselves, no matter if you're at the top or if you're at the bottom of the food chain, it doesn't matter. You know, I like to say no one is better than anyone else, right? And I think we both can speak for this. We have people that sometimes come up to us and be like, oh, bro, I can't believe I'm meeting you. Like, this is so sick. You know, I've had people come up to me in person. I've had people online, you know, that I would reach out to that have hit me up. And they'd be like, oh, my gosh, there's no way you're actually. But it's like, no. I'm just like you. The only difference is that I'm just acting on what God has placed in my heart to do.
Amen.
And I believe that you have the same thing within you. And you have the same thing within you. You know, all of us have a talent. All of us have something that God has placed inside of us to be able to move forward and do. You just have to act on it. And when you wake up every single day and you let that talent sit, someone else is coming around collecting that talent from you, you know? And when I found out, like for me, you know, and just like with my journey, when I found out that I had a love for fitness, I didn't believe that it was going to, like, I can't even believe I'm sitting in here. Like these opportunities and, you know, come and people reach out to me for different opportunities. And sometimes I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, wow, God, like you're really doing this for me, you know? And
You've been a good servant, my friend.
I look at this brand and I look at, you know, this opportunity here, and I'm just a 21-year-old kid. Like, I have nothing crazy in life that's happened to me. You know, I've had my ups, I've had my downs. We all do, you know, but that makes you stronger, you know. And back to the men's standpoint, you know, to the men out there, like, it's okay to fail. It's okay to mess up. Like, it's okay to not be your best every single day. The people that tell you you're going to wake up and be 100% every single day are lying to you, you know. You're gonna have days where you're gonna fall off the wagon. You're gonna have days where you mess up and screw up. You're gonna mess up relationships. You're gonna mess up friendships. It's the way life is. But the most important thing that matters is that you understand the mistake that you made and you're willing to better yourself. And keeping that constant mindset, even through my failures I've had in life, it teaches you to just look at failure in a separate way. You don't look at failure as you're down at the floor. You look at failure as that's just another opportunity on how not to do something. You know.
And I love that. You know, it's a lot of, you know, words don't necessarily mean that's what it is, but I get it. A language had to be established however many thousands of years ago so we could, you know, start communicating stuff. But if you want to use words or give words that much power, then look at fail. Like fail. I love acronyms. For some reason they work for me. You know, they don't work, but for me they do. And I look at fail. I use it a lot, especially in what I do. You know, first attempt in learning.
I love that,
and that's what you made me think about, because it's not a fail. There's no fail in attempting something. The fail, if you want to use that word, is just sitting down on the ground and not doing it. That's you know, I don't think you're living up to your full potential. But it's just a first attempt in learning, right?
Yeah, and to the people that like are watching this, you know, and that will see this, is you have what it takes to be great. You know, you have the ability to show up every single day and be the best version of yourself. Now, that's not to say you're going to be 100% every day, but you have the ability to be the best version of yourself, you know. And the best version of yourself is someone that is making steps, building habits, building a routine for themselves.
Disciplines.
You know, discipline, consistency, understanding delayed gratification, that everything you want is not going to come as soon as you want it,
Yeah, it
and
doesn't
that's
work
one thing.
like that.
That's one thing I even had to learn too, because when I first started this brand,
Yeah.
when you're starting a business, you want everything to come quick. You want the big deals to come. You want the contracts to come, and you have to realize that in life, God has perfect seasons for you, and
Amen.
when it's your time,
Yep.
it's your time, and
Yep.
He's gonna allow. I look at this is my season,
Yep. Yep.
because recently God has been elevating again, like I said
Yeah.
earlier, and really blessing this brand.
Yeah.
Before it just wasn't my time, and that's, you have
agree.
to learn how to accept that.
But if everything came on the fly, like what
You never learn anything.
But what fun, because we have this explorer in us as humans, this seeker. We have adventurer in us, and we have hope in us, and like feelings and sadness and happy. And if everything was like
Here.
I wouldn't get that feeling that I get
Yeah.
busting my chops,
Yeah.
and then succeeding. I wouldn't. The feeling wouldn't be the same.
It's
Like,
beautiful you say that, because it's like when you can not succeed at something and then you finally are able to succeed at it. What do we have? We have a story to tell.
oh yeah,
We now can sit down and tell people our
Yeah.
life story. We
Yeah.
build a book,
Yeah.
know, and I believe everyone has a book, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
book can be used to touch millions, billions, trillions of people.
Yeah.
Our world has gazillions of people in it,
Yeah.
right? We believe that we have to just stay in our little confined space and just, oh, I'm going to work here, then I'm good.
Yep.
Your impact can touch the whole world if you truly believe it,
And that's, you're making me think, like, there's such a stigma. Like, people are so programmed. Don't say anything. You'll be judged. You'll sound dumb. You know what I mean? Like,
Coming from our first responder world, that's exactly what was used to be preached.
but how do we know it's not exactly what somebody else needs to hear? Because God gives us all worth. We all have some type of worth. There's not a person that can't put a coin or a dollar on the table, regardless of age, regardless of background, we all have worth. What are we doing with the worth?
It's so true. And you look at that on that nugget, we look at that, and no matter where you are in life right now, whether you're at the bottom or you're at the top, one thing is you always have to know yourself. You always have to understand that God made you for a reason, specific purpose. You might not be living in your purpose every single day.
100%.
It's life. We might find out that we're here and we need to transfer back all the way over here. Or you might be down low and you don't know where you're going to go from there. You think all hope is lost, but you have yourself, And I believe that when you're born, you have a specific gift that is provided to you. And God says, okay, I'm now putting you into the world, and I want you to go and use this gift. Now, it might take longer than others for people to find out what that gift is, and that's okay, right? Like, life is not meant to, like you said, get everything quick.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Life-
Time takes time.
Perfect example. Peter in the Bible. Saul, actually. Let's actually use Saul, who later turned into Paul. And for those of you who are my Bible readers out there, but Saul was originally a person that went around and killed Christians and martyred Christians, right? But then God touched him on the road to Damascus, and he completely changed his whole lifestyle to now be a person where he is now preaching the gospel.
Fearlessly.
Yes.
Paul was a fearless
Yes.
warrior.
Courageous.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
And you look at that, and that refers so much. Like, the Bible is one of those things, right?
Yeah.
And, I know religion is one of those things that a lot of people don't, typically talk about.
Yeah,
But, I like to use these opportunities to be able to put that out there,
Yeah.
But the Bible is one of those things where it can help you develop in life like no other book, right? And I love self-development books.
Like a good moral compass. It has a phenomenal, whether you believe or not, it's the moral compass of it.
I know so many people who have read the Bible who aren't Christians,
Yeah.
but they have learned stuff from it.
Yeah, oh,
the
yeah.
stories that are in there,
They were
right?
brilliant writers back then.
Yes, and I believe so many people can learn from those stories, whether it be Jesus feeding the hungry, whether it be the miracles that Jesus did, whether it be Jesus dying on the cross.
Correct.
But every story in the Bible,
Yep.
everything that happens in the Bible
Yep.
can relate to you in somehow,
Yep.
some form or fashion.
And I think, unfortunately, man, like you were saying, when we're born, we're born perfect. I agree with that too. Like, I think every baby, every human that's
Yeah.
born is born with 100 pieces,
Amen.
and then slowly but surely,
Those pieces get taken away.
the world, and in my field, my lane, my space, a lot of people are angry at God, and I get that too. Like, I get it. I had a period too, but I've come, in my recovery, I've come to learn or, get outside that box that you were talking about, this entrapment, this self-imposed imprisonment. Is it the scripture that you're angry at, aka God, or is it the people in the church that you're angry at?
There you go.
Because what I read, and I read it quite frequently. Actually, I'm still in a Bible study with a bunch of men Friday mornings. Reach out to me if you want to come. You're more than welcome.
Yeah.
What I read every Friday and what we discuss every Friday is not what I see people doing. Oh. It's
Yes.
But that's with anything. You have corrupted this. You have corrupted that. You have mean that. It's the human.
And it's so beautiful you say that. That's a good point too, because God is one of those people that he doesn't force himself on you.
Correct.
And we have so many people in this world that are trying to force religion.
Correct.
And I always tell people Christianity, the Bible, that's not a religion. That is a way of life, right? It's something that God has provided with you, because God gives us all a free will, right? God gives us all a free will to make our own choices and decisions, right? So when we go out in the world and we're like, you know what, today I'm going to have road rage. God didn't tell you to have road rage. Like that's you, And so many people blame it on.
That's a great point.
So many people, go out in the world and they blame it on I don't know why God is doing this to me. But God is really just sitting back and he's literally just like, you know what? I'm going to let my child do his own thing. And when he's ready to turn back to me, I'm here with open arms,
And the magnificent tapestry continues to be weaved and designed and nurtured. And, it's like there's a 12-step fellowship that has literature, and some very powerful, very God-given literature. And it says, we are a program of attraction, not promotion. And, some of the stuff I see, I'm like, oh, where's that in the Bible?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I see that's enough out of me with that.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly where you're going.
I think it was great how we talked about it. And I couldn't agree with you more. This is not something you shove down anybody's throat, or just like recovery or Hardmode Fitness. You want to work out, you hang out with Joshua. You don't want to work out, you don't hang out with him. You want to, unfortunately, you want to smoke crack, you smoke it. You hang out with people who are smoking crack. You want to stop going to Home Depot for ice cream.
Yeah.
Well, you let people show you how to stop pulling into the parking lot. Yo, bro, there ain't no ice cream. Go to Dairy Queen or what,
And it's funny because it's like everyone. You're again. It goes right back to that thing. Your circle. When you surround yourself with negativity, you might not. And it's crazy because high school, perfect example, public school, private school, whatever. It's one big place where you have so many different walks of life come every single day from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock, right? And they're going through the hallways, they're meeting friends, and I look at it as one big place where there's so many different walks of life. High school is probably one of the best analogies I can give, because it's just so many different people, right?
Concentrated too.
But you have your sports group, you have your popular group, you have your ego group, you have your nerd group, you have so many different groups of people. And when you get out in the real world, it's so different, because now you're just thrown out to the wolves. Now you have to actually survive. And I think that is where so many people tend to lose it, because it's like you go from school where you're kind of nurtured in a group, you have your own squad, I guess you can say. So you go out into the big world and now you're just on your own.
My wife is an LCSW, right? Licensed clinical social worker. She's also a school counselor, has a private practice, and she was also a cheerleading coach for 8 years at the high school level. And Joshua, people listening, the things that I would be privy to, and the situations at home, where it's just, sometimes it would anger me a little bit, because it's really having an effect on the child, and then sometimes it make me sad. Sometimes it make me grateful for the warriors like you, my wife. I'm going to try to stay humble. Guys like me don't like to say I'm a warrior.
Come on, man.
I'm just a guy that's been given a tremendous gift, you know. And I agree. And a lot of that is contributing to all these, you know, different things. And people are just so far removed from like the basics. Hey, man, how you doing? If you're not doing well, let me know. I'm here for you, bro. You ever want to get a coffee? Let me know, man. I know a great hoagie shop, man. I'm getting my license in a couple of weeks, you know. I'll pick you up, bro. You know, whatever, you know.
And basic just reaching out to be like building relationships and fellowshipping, you know, like our world has lost that too. You know, now we go out to dinner with people, we go out to lunch and everyone's just texting, phones down, like heads down on the phone.
I leave mine in the car.
And don't even talk, you know? And it's like, how can you build a bond with someone, whether it be, again, a relationship, friendship, whatever it is, but how can you build a bond with someone if you're just stuck at the table the whole time doing this?
I'm making a world announcement right now, a world announcement. My wife's going to laugh if she watches this episode because I say it all the time. When I retire, I'm going back. I refuse to have a smartphone.
Yeah. Back to a flip phone.
Old school. This is my number. If you need me,
call me.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, I get it. Like, you know, it's just part of the deal for me and you too. Like, and it's so many of us, right?
It's our way.
But you know, a lot of people have bad things to say about addicts, alcoholics, people who are depressed. You know, why don't you just get up and all that negativity, criticism, you know. A lot of that comes from high school years and even before that too. But I want you to use this example to kind of get just a little taste of what maybe addiction might be or mental health or alcoholism. You know, have you ever lost your phone? And do you know what that feeling that comes with that? It's like World War III just, oh, my God, phone. My phone. Or you forget your phone, and you got to do a U-turn and go back to the hand.
And you're already late.
Or you're home. Look, I'm there, too.
I'm guilty of it, too.
I'm just trying to give you at least something, because it's really difficult to understand something you've never experienced.
Yeah.
Like a Marine talks to a Marine. A first responder. I'm not a first responder. I don't know how to do their job. I never did their job. But what I can establish a common denominator with a first responder is I know what it's like to go from 0 to 100 over and over. And like that I know. But if you really think about it, a lot of addicts, alcoholics, people who are in trouble, they spend years explaining to people why they're doing what they do. And it just gets them more frustrated because people are like, huh? Well, you smoked crack and you looked out windows for 2 days. Like, I don't. And we expect people to understand that. So look, just take a breath, man. It's really hard to understand something you've never experienced. So if this helps you a little bit, maybe you have a family member struggling, or your neighbor struggling, or somebody close, or a coworker. You know, just be there for your coworker. Even there might be their kids. Because look, my friends, wherever I go, there it is. So just think about how hard it is for you to put your phone down. When even if you're not busy, you're at your home, everything's quiet. Just think about that. So put it down tonight if you want to know how that feels, or I don't know, try 2 hours.
Oh, boy,
ooh,
I'm guilty of it. You know, seriously, because
I get it.
It's one of those things where it's like we survive so much on this piece of equipment.
It's unbelievable.
It's like our lifestyle, you know, and. You forget it. Oh man, business is slow for the day. I forgot my phone.
Oh my God, where's my phone?
Yeah,
I hate that feeling. I get
it's like a gut feeling that it's just like, oh my gosh, my day's ruined. You know. But back in the day,
I had 100, easily 100 phone numbers like in my head. Like, I can't even tell you what my wife's is. I know the last 4. And I know the first 3. The other 3, I can't,
because it's something that we're constantly on.
My bank app's on here. My Amex app is on here. My work emails on here. The Stomping Out the Stigma emails on. Like,
everything's on that.
Oh my God!
You lose it.
All my passcodes. You know, good luck. You know, I finally, after I don't know, 20 years having a smartphone, I'm like, I'm just gonna get one of those note apps because every time I went to log into something, wrong password.
No tap
have to
is
reset it. And all my stuff. I am comfortable because I got the thumbprint.
Oh,
like you can't
fingerprint.
get it.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Fingerprint, right?
Yeah, and it opens up.
Yeah, but I'm sure some people like thrive on that. Like I'm sure there's probably somebody that possibly can get around that somehow. I don't know. Nothing surprises me anymore.
And it's funny because it's like in today. So
Geez.
it's funny that we bring up this topic because this brings up another good point. But we now have AI technology and all this stuff now, right? And it can be used for good, it can be used for bad. Social media can be used for good, for bad. And I tell people all the time, it's like you can use whatever you want. You can do whatever you want to do, right? No one's ever gonna force you to be like, oh, if you want to go on social media and you want to throw things up there that shouldn't be up there, that's you. You know, people are gonna like it. People are not gonna like it. It just depends on your audience, right? I'm gonna do things where people like, people don't like, right? I can't, and you're gonna do things where people like, people don't like, right? But at the end of the day, you have to look at it like this. Every single thing that is put online has millions, thousands of people watching it every single day. So you have to ask yourself the question every single time you put something online is, would I want my kids looking at that? Would I want my grandma or grandpa looking at that? Would I want mommy and daddy looking at that? And if you're okay with that, then hey, go ahead and post it.
And you really expose yourself too, like guys like me and you, right? You're an entrepreneur. You're using it like in such a wonderful way, like how to really make a contribution. But at the same time, everybody expects you to think like them. You know what I mean? And when you don't, it's like
you're wrong.
So here we are, and plenty of you too, just getting your message out, doing your thing, being you, doing you, But if you really think about it, man, you're opening yourself up to criticism, people critiquing you, vulnerability, judgment, like all these weapons, like, and you have people message you, but
it's real.
Oh man, like,
and you look at it like, you know what? At the end of the day, you're gonna have both sides. You're gonna have good people that engage with your stuff. You're gonna have bad people. And it's funny because I remember like when I first like got started with the whole like social media thing, I was so afraid of like what the comments would look like, and what people would say or not people liking my videos and things like that. And then I had to realize, just do it. Just post, just do what you do, just put up there. It'll touch someone.
Be you, do you, man. Yeah. And that's how it reaches others.
And when you have that mentality, it is so crazy because I first had that mentality of, I want to do the latest trends, or I want to find out the most viral song on Instagram. I want to put that in the video. And then when I realized, I'm just Joshua. I'm going to go in my backyard and do what I do.
And be a trailblazer, brother.
And make it work.
Be
a
trailblazer, man.
And I realized at that moment, that is when I started seeing growth. And that refers back to life because when you try to be something you're not in life, when you try to be in an environment that you shouldn't be in, it's one of those things where you look at that and it's like, well, I wasn't raised to be here. And I come from a family of a Christian background. Like my parents, I grew up in the church and things like that. So I was always surrounded by, my parents always made sure that they instilled good morals in me. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. No, ma'am. Good morning. How are you? Shake your hand. Look you in the eye, right?
Boy, what a great job they did too.
Thank you. And shout out to mom and dad for that.
Mom and dad.
But to be honest, like you look at, young generation, my generation, and, you got people that are willing to go out in society and look at someone older, such as yourself, compared to me, and they're like, they want to curse you out, or they don't want to shake your hand, or you walk in the door, you hold the door for them.
That's crazy.
And they don't even say thank you, I know for me, and I'm just going to put myself out there, I know for me, if I did something like that and my parents ever saw that, that's a pow pow, that's a whooping, So it instilled in me, like if I never said yes ma'am, yes sir, thank you ma'am, thank you sir, like my parents made me say that, but and I'm not going to say that as I was forced to, but well, yeah, I was actually, I can't lie. I can't lie, but it made me where I am today. It allowed me to be able to be in the room with people that I wouldn't even think about being in a room with,
And now the wind is behind you, my friend. You're being the best version of yourself. You're humble. You're smart. You're hustling. You're going to be you're a first responder. Like the wind is behind you, my friend. You're not leaning into it.
And it's people like you and parents and older people, other mentors of mine, who always instill the importance of respect. Respect is so huge for younger people, right? And I'm not gonna say it's always easy, because there's sometimes that you meet older people that and they test
still
you.
in the flesh, my friend.
they definitely test you. But
yeah.
you have to realize, well, you always have to ask yourself the question is, was that how I was raised? If mom and dad were here, would I be doing that, right? And it goes right back to so many other things in life, that drop that nugget.
It's kind of like go back to mom. What would mom or dad or like WWJD,
I just caught it. Yes, but
did you catch up? Were you there too, or you're still doing the
still thinking about it? But it's good, And just we were talking about as we were walking up here, the older generation connecting with the younger generation. Being able to have people in your life who have been through life, and then you being able to have people in your life who are new. Like think about, and you might not see this, but the impact that you have on my life and you've had in my life this past, we've only known each other now for, I want to say about a month or a couple months, going on.
Yeah. We met at Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, a simple fast
food. Does everything happen at Chick-fil-A?
A simple fast food restaurant. But from that day, everything has just
kaboom
grown,
Yeah,
and
it's manifested.
You've
for sure.
put me in contact with now people that I now have a relationship with.
Yeah.
I've now put you in contact with people now that you have a relationship with, and I believe that is so great. The world needs more of these type of collabs. Young people are always so close to wanting to be with the younger people, and the older people are always close to be with the older because they feel like they can relate easier.
In a box.
But,
that's living in a box.
But I can't tell you how much I've learned as a man, even just from my bringing up, but being around you, how to carry yourself as an entrepreneur, how to carry yourself as a business owner, how to properly sit, how to properly talk, how to properly sit in front of a camera. It's like, and it's, you don't even have to say anything to me. It's just the way you carry yourself that I pick up little small nuggets on. And it's like, okay, I'm going to start incorporating that into my day-to-day life. Like putting my hand in the pocket, walking, and then shaking someone's hand, but it's like, it's little small nuggets that teach you how to be a better man, and I believe that your impact that you have, you might not see it, you might not feel it every single day, but there are people that are going to pass by you in this world, they're going to look at you and they're going to be like, man, like, I like that guy's beard, bro. Like, that is nice. Like, I want to grow my beard like that. And it's small things like that, but goes along with simply smiling at someone. Just walking past 100%. Someone, smiling at someone can change your whole day.
How many people I smile at that can't even smile? They get like all locked up. Like,
serious.
I got a little history behind the beard.
Let's hear it.
I don't know if I've ever said this. I've been podcasting for, a year or plus. So almost 5 years ago, I started wanting to get into the mental health space outside of the treatment world as a Marine. And I wanted to create a space, an entrepreneur, for first responders, veterans, to where they didn't, have to get their agency involved, or they, some people just don't want to report, and they got trust issues, or, I don't know, HR gets involved, all that stuff. I know you know what I'm saying. So anyway, I started this organization, Stomping Out the Stigma, and I was training for my first ever 20-mile walk.
Nice.
Because 20 miles, it takes 8.5, 9 hours for me.
Boy.
I broke my femur bone in my late 20s, so I don't have the pace like I used to, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But my point was 20 miles, it creates a conversation, a longer lasting conversation than what we're doing here. This is a great conversation, and it can manifest through social media, and that's awesome. I mean, it could be, somebody could watch it 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's always up.
But the 20-mile created this surge for about 8.5, 9 hours on one day. And so I was training for it, and it was the first time I think I've ever done 15 miles since I was in the Corps, and I was in the Corps in my early 20s.
Yes.
And it was really beating me down one day. It was hot because I started these walks in April, and it was beating me down, And one day I was getting, kicked.
Yeah.
And I just said, oh my gosh, God, what did you get me into? What are you doing? Oh, God, please, you're so far in. What did you create? Yeah. Because I was only a few weeks away. I had like 30, 40 people already committed to walking with me, first responders. I had logistics worked out, being escorted by either a truck, a box, or a police officer, we were creating this big, the conversation was starting, mental health for our first responders. Too many are struggling in silence. A lot have a problem even asking for help, let alone report. You know, they keep saying good and fine, all kinds of stuff going on. So I asked, and let's see, so I'm 63, so I was, what, 50, 58?
You look good for 63,
I was about 58. I've been shaving my whole life.
Because you have to,
That's just the way I am. I just never grew hair. Just what I like. Wouldn't you know it? So when I asked for help, because I kept having to sit down this day, and I was getting like a little, you know, I don't know what it was, just one of those days, you know? I said, God, please help me. Give me a sign to keep pushing through this. And I, you know, got back up, completed my task. The next morning, like I've been doing my whole life, you know, getting some water. And then I was just about to put the cream on, and I heard, don't do it. Huh? Don't do it. You each day you don't shave, it will remind you of what you're doing. Don't shave until the day of the walk, or after the walk. Don't shave until after the walk. And I still had like a month and a half.
Wow. And
there was my silence. I'm like, God, you're amazing. But in that month and a half, my wife really liked it. People were like, oh, it really fits you.
It does,
And then with those columns, especially with the wife, you know, it just became symbolic. It became a part of me, sentimental. And I've been wearing it ever since.
Wow.
That's the story behind the Tim Roberto beard.
That's awesome.
I
love that.
It's just... I can't get rid of it. Like, I couldn't do it even if I wanted to.
And it's so crazy because everything in life literally has meaning to it if you really let it have meaning to you.
I asked for a sign, and lo and behold, the next day was, don't shave, man. And every day you look in the mirror, you'll be reminded of what you're doing because you've shaved your whole life. It was unbelievable. Dude, talk about one of those pivotal moments.
And we need those a lot in life, you know, because sometimes we get on a path of direction, we get on this dirt road, and we think it's the way all the way down. This is bumpy. Yes, life is going to be very bumpy. And those roads are very bumpy. But sometimes God says, I need you to make a U-turn here. You might not want to make that U-turn. You might not understand why you have to make that U-turn. But that's the beautiful thing about the word faith.
Correct.
Right?
Faith allows me not to toss signs away, cast them aside. No big. I took that one. I just went.
And for me, I'm not the type of person that believes in luck. You know, people will always be like, oh, you're lucky. Like, no. I believe in
all the time.
Miracles.
I always tell them I'm blessed.
But we truly are, you know, and life is full of miracles. It's not luck, you know, and whether people believe that or not, right? But
it's okay.
It's miracles are miracles, right?
I think our God is so incredible that it's going exactly the way it's supposed to be. Otherwise, it'd be different. Think about that. As a younger dude, I used to be like, you know, with that. People be like, it's kind of that. But as I matured and came into my own authentic self, it's going exactly the way it's supposed to be. Otherwise, it'd be different.
The quote is, what happens, happens. What you can control, you can control. And what you can't control, you just can't control.
So, any last words, man? Any words that you?
Man, I do want to say to you, thank you so much for featuring me on this podcast. It was truly an honor and a blessing.
Great guest.
I'm very humbled, you know, to be in this position. But also to the people out there who are going to watch this, continue to work hard, continue to be yourself, continue to wake up every single day and chase greatness. You know, it's not always going to be easy. It's not supposed to be, but follow your heart. Having heart is the biggest step to being the best version of yourself. And just don't be afraid to showcase your talent to the world. You know, it's gonna take some time. People aren't always gonna agree with what you do. People aren't always gonna see your vision. But if you're at a spot in your life and you believe that you have something and you have a passion and you believe that it can touch the world, go for it, and do not let people stop you. And
excuse me.
You're good. And my last point is really just continuously to keep God on your side, you know, and prayerfully through this platform, I hope that I can continuously preach that to you guys, the importance of having a relationship with God. But follow him, because he will take you to places that you really can't imagine. So thank you
Love it,
again
bro.
for everything.
Beautiful,
Appreciate that.
beautiful. So well put. If anybody wants to reach out to you, how can they do that?
Yeah,
or
so
follow you. What's your
okay,
you know?
yeah, guys. So I do have an Instagram. Obviously, I do a lot of like fitness content, health and wellness. So if you guys are looking to get information, you guys eventually want to work with me as a coach, it is hardmode__fitness. Or you can shoot me a text at 561-781-1519. I'm always on my phone. But if you guys are interested in just wanting to grow your mindset, grow your physical health, nutrition, training, whatever it is that you want to be, and become the best version of yourselves, I'm here to help you, and I'm on this journey with you. So that is the one thing I love about, and I'm just going to say this about, my coaching and my training is I love to train with you as well. I'm not that coach I would just give you something and I'm like, oh, I here's your program. I like to be that person that is right there by your side to help you reach your goals. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. Thank you to the GOAT right here for featuring me, and more to come, for sure.
My man, this is just a younger version of David Goggin. Did I say his name
David
right?
Goggins.
Goggin. It's David Goggins' little brother here. You know what I mean? Talk about motivating.
Thank you,
Holy
sir.
cow.
Thank
Hey,
you,
I'm
sir.
Tim Roberto. You can find me on everything, right?
Yes.
Facebook, LinkedIn,
Yes.
Instagram, etc. My email is tim.r@beachway.com. And I hope you enjoyed Joshua as much as I did and the conversation. And we're thankful for Beachway for providing this platform for us to serve our community in so many different ways. And until the next time, peace and love.